identity theft, cyber fraud, financial scams. Who has access to your personal information should be your decision, not up to Elon Musk. That's your data, your social security account, your tax return, your student loans, your VA health records.
But Elon has cracked the code. He is now inside the agencies. He's created these algorithms that are constantly crawling through the data. And
how creepy is that?
Constantly crawling through the data.
Elon Musk just lost it after the Lincoln Project unleashed a savage new parody ad. Forget Twitter tantrums. This time, they went next level with the roast of the century. You won't believe how this billionaire reacts when his ego gets a public smackdown. Grab your snacks, because what's coming next is pure comedy gold. Trust me, you'll be laughing so hard you might even forget about Mars for a second.
All of us are tempted to expend all of our energy and outrage on every little thing.
The Riviera of the Middle East, the Gulf of America, our 51st state.
But what's really important is that you stay focused on the bigger things. Donald Trump is on the run. Elon is on the run. Doge is failing. Last night, Elon went to Congress. I have heard 2 sources now who tell me these people are in a raging panic. When Elon says to them, well, just call me and I'll undo any cut that you like, it gives away the whole damn game.
Oh, Elon Musk, the man who made billions selling cars that you can't afford, rockets that go to the moon, and tweets that make you question whether your high school friend who dropped out to sell essential oils was the more stable person in the room. Yeah, that guy. He's been at the center of every controversy, from launching a car into space like some sort of egomaniacal space cowboy to building a literal tunnel that's never going to make traffic any better.
When Elon goes out in pregame saying, well, you know, Social Security's database is flawed, and therefore, let me tell you something. When it's your grandma who gets sidetracked for her Medicaid or her Social Security, this country's going to have a meltdown, and Elon Musk will be chased through the streets with pitchforks and torches.
But let's talk about something that even Musk couldn't dodge: an absolute roast. And not just any roast, but one that's so savage it had him frothing at the mouth like a caffeinated squirrel. The Lincoln Project, yes, the same political group who seems to spend their free time making scathing ads aimed at everyone from Trump to anyone else who dares step out of line, decided that Elon Musk was ripe for the taking. It's honestly the best thing to happen to him since he invented electric cars or whatever.
The success of Tesla, to a great extent, was due to reward hacking by getting money from the federal government. That's a lot of people.
Absolutely.
What people don't really properly understand, both in the form of loans, subsidies, sort of
carbon credits.
Carbon credits, correct. Without those, Tesla doesn't really make its first profit.
And in true Lincoln Project fashion, they didn't just slap him with a simple ad. Oh no, they pulled out the big guns, firing a parody ad that has him losing his mind. So, buckle up, because Elon's latest meltdown is about to become your entertainment for the day. Here's the thing about Elon Musk. He's used to being the star of the show. It doesn't matter what's happening in the world. If Musk doesn't have his face plastered everywhere, is the world even turning? When he isn't tweeting out completely bizarre and often completely incorrect takes, he's dropping memes and posting bizarre photos of his children. It's like he's a walking, talking, semi-dysfunctional brand advertisement.
Trump is down 11 points in his approval rating. 11 in 3.5 weeks. This is not bad news, guys. This is actually good news. The things he's doing are having a very direct impact on the way he is perceived. Creepy wingman Elon Musk is about as popular as drug-resistant syphilis with most of the American voters. He's about a 25 to 28% approval rating and about a 55 to 60% disapproval. That has to mean, because math is real, that about 40% of Republicans at the minimum don't like the shenanigans.
But the Lincoln Project, they've been watching. They've seen the train wreck that is Elon Musk's PR strategy and decided, let's make it even worse. Because who needs a billionaire who thinks he's on top of the world when you can turn him into a complete joke? And folks, they nailed it. The ad, which could only be described as a high-speed train of savage humor, parodied Musk's entire existence. Imagine you're a billionaire with an entire empire made out of electric cars and tunnels for suburban commuters who feel like driving through the world's least inspiring cave system is fun. Then, a political action group releases an ad that cuts through every single one of your pretensions. You'd be pissed too. But Musk? Oh, he didn't just take it on the chin. No, that would have been too easy. He exploded in a way only Musk could. Imagine you just had an elegant dinner party, wearing your best suit, when someone throws a rotten tomato at you. What do? If you're Musk, you grab a megaphone, shout about free speech, and maybe tweet a picture of you holding the tomato like it's some sort of victory trophy. Yeah, that's exactly what he did. Instead of laughing it off like a normal person with any sort of self-awareness, he reacted like his entire space empire was being dragged through the mud. Spoiler, it kind of was.
Elon Musk is dangerous to you, your family, your country, your data, your life. Just say no to Elon Musk.
Social Security. That's your Medicare. That's America's roads and bridges. That's an economic depression. You think you voted for Trump, but you didn't. You voted for Elon Musk. All hail President Elon Musk.
Now, let's talk about Musk's delicate ego. This is a guy who claims to have invented electric cars, despite the fact that, everyone else was working on electric cars long before he was. He treats every time someone critiques him like it's a personal attack on his entire life's work. When the Lincoln Project's parody ad hit the internet, you'd think he'd just gotten a shot of adrenaline to the heart. The man went into full meltdown mode. The guy who tweets like he's the final boss in the world of tech titans suddenly lost it when a political group said, "Nah, you're not that special." And it wasn't just one tweet. Oh no, that would have been too easy. Musk dove straight into the deep end, firing off an unhinged series of posts. He was defending his image with all the grace of a bull in a china shop. It's like watching a grown man try to defend his Lego collection to his mom. There's a lot of flailing, some misplaced pride, and the overwhelming realization that maybe, just maybe, you should have kept your mouth shut. Here's the thing. Musk prides himself on being a guy who doesn't care what people think. Remember when he said, "I don't care what people think. I do what I want." Which, sure, Elon, you did say that. But when a bunch of political outsiders release a parody ad, suddenly you're crying on Twitter like a teenager who didn't get a text back.
Elon Musk, hailed for changing the way we drive, celebrated for sending rockets toward the stars. Now the world's richest man is using his power to do something unthinkable. He's slashing funding for life-saving medicine and science, shutting down cancer and Alzheimer's research, solutions for childhood diseases. He's killing projects that save lives, and maybe killing the hopes of someone you love. Families praying for a cure.
Musk's response didn't just come off as defensive, it came off as downright hilarious. He wasn't just defending himself, he was acting like the ad was an attack on his very existence. The Lincoln Project didn't just hurt his ego, they made him spiral harder than a SpaceX rocket on launch day. The best part? Musk wasn't even able to keep his cool. This isn't a man who's used to being told no, much less being publicly embarrassed. So what does he do? He hurls insults, sarcastically mocks the group behind the parody, and doubles down on being the tech world's least likable billionaire. Classic Musk move, right? But here's the catch. Every time he opens his mouth about the Lincoln Project's parody ad, he looks more out of touch with reality than ever before. His tweets about it didn't just fuel the fire, they made the whole thing an ongoing spectacle. Now, the real kicker in all of this? Musk doesn't just lose his cool, he makes it worse. As any experienced meltdown artist knows, you don't get mad at the people who are roasting you. You absorb it. You laugh at yourself. Maybe even retweet it to show the world that, yes, you've got a sense of humor, but not Elon. No, he had to go full speed ahead, fueling the meme train by treating the parody like it was an attack on the very fabric of his billion-dollar empire.
Elon's killing their life-saving research, and he brags about it, publicly, proudly. It's heartless. It's wrong. The losses won't be numbers on a spreadsheet, but mothers, daughters, fathers, sons, death, fear, and pain. Elon Musk wanted to be the man who saved space exploration. Instead, he'll be remembered as the man who saved cancer.
You'd think someone with as much money as he has would know better. But no, instead, he turned himself into a meme. And while Musk was busy spiraling, the Lincoln Project was sitting back, sipping tea and watching the chaos unfold. You don't just go after Musk and expect a subtle reaction. They knew he was a walking drama factory, and they hit the jackpot. But let's take a step back. Does this really surprise anyone? Musk has been dodging reality for years. He tweets like a man with no consequences, spends his days coming up with ever more bizarre ways to distract from his shady business dealings, and still thinks he can change the world without ever bothering to stay grounded in any sort of reality. But here's the deal. When you're a billionaire playing God with people's livelihoods, political opinions, and tweets, you're not above being roasted. Now let's zoom out and take a look at the bigger picture. Because as much as we love to focus on the pure entertainment of Elon Musk melting down over a parody ad, there's a whole cultural and political war playing out here.
Do you see any point that he goes too far in terms of destroying the economy where a sufficient number of Republican senators say, enough, we're going to take steps to stop this?
There have been so many plain and obvious moral moments that they have just put their hands over their eyes and walked by humming. I think that day comes, but I don't think that it comes because of a moral moment. I think it comes as you close in towards November of 26, and then the kind of real political pressure begins to boil.
You see, the Lincoln Project isn't just trolling Musk for fun, they're tapping into something deeper. It's like they saw the giant billboard of Musk's fragile ego and decided to paint "Don't Poke the Bear" in neon lights. The ad wasn't just a shot at Musk's egocentric space cowboy routine, it was a calculated hit at his increasingly tangled web of political affiliations and public behavior. Musk's been dabbling in politics like it's a hobby. One minute he's buddying up with right-wing commentators, the next he's tweeting about free speech like he's the founding father of Twitter. For someone who pretends to be above the political fray, Musk sure finds himself knee-deep in it. So when the Lincoln Project roasted him, they weren't just attacking his business, they were taking aim at his entire brand, political affiliations, personality quirks, and all. And what does this moment tell us about the political climate? Oh, it's a goldmine for understanding just how much politics has become intertwined with entertainment and social media. Musk's online persona is the perfect target. He's a walking, talking, meme-producing goldmine for anyone looking to stir the pot.
Who is threatening the Social Security benefits you worked hard for all your life? Elon Musk. Who gets to look at the personal information the government has on you in its databases? Elon Musk. Who controls the computer systems that decide if you get your tax refund, or disaster relief, or Medicare benefits? Elon Musk. Who gets billions in taxpayer money every year, all while controlling the government's payment system? Elon Musk. President Musk says he wants at least $2 trillion in cuts.
Remember, this is the guy who made headlines for smoking weed on a podcast like it was a casual Tuesday, while also being the CEO of a trillion-dollar company. The lines between politics, entertainment, and personal branding are so blurry now, it's like trying to find the difference between a Kardashian tweet and a Fox News soundbite. The Lincoln Project didn't just roast a tech mogul, they made a statement about how online personas can fuel political narratives and public perception. And guess what? Musk's reaction? It fed right into it, giving them more fire to keep roasting him. Here's where it gets even juicier. Musk's public persona is this perfect mix of quirky, eccentric genius, and controversial billionaire. It's like watching someone try to juggle knives while riding a unicycle. One wrong move, and it's all going to come crashing down. But somehow, Musk's been balancing this act for years, somehow surviving despite alienating whole swaths of people who think his tech empire is built on a shaky foundation of arrogance and questionable decisions. So the question becomes, how long can this act last? How much longer can he strut around acting like he's both the nerdy genius and the cool billionaire before the cracks get too big to ignore? Musk's ability to stay on top of the tech world has been impressive, but we're starting to see how quickly his public image is crumbling under the weight of his own missteps and absurdities.
What is the feeling that you're getting in the Senate about how well they think this trade war is going?
Let's just say they're not pleased. There's a lot that they have to explain or pretend to ignore. The chaos is frightening, but the corruption piece, that's what makes people really angry. And I think we are deep, deep, deep into very bad levels of corruption.
And let's not forget the lasting effect this ad has on Musk's image. Sure, he can launch rockets and push electric cars into the mainstream, but the more he gets involved in politics, especially the more he gets roasted by political action groups, the more he starts looking like a divisive, out-of-touch celebrity rather than a visionary of the future. In one swift move, the Lincoln Project just took that carefully constructed persona of Musk as a tech genius and punctured it with the same level of precision a SpaceX rocket would land on a landing pad. It's a reminder that as much as Musk tries to portray himself as a serious businessman and forward-thinking innovator, he's now got a brand built on controversy and a tendency to overreact. And that's not going to age well. So, yeah, the ad was funny, but it's also a subtle reminder that even the richest, most influential people aren't immune to a little public humiliation. And when your personal brand is all about being the cool billionaire, it's pretty hard to recover when the cool factor evaporates faster than a Tesla battery in the middle of a heat wave. The Lincoln Project didn't just poke fun at Musk's bizarre political stances, they played on the fact that this man, despite his immense wealth and technological feats, is still incredibly thin-skinned.
The Lincoln Project salutes Vice President Donald Trump. As Vice President, Trump will finally have the time to do the things that make him happiest. Talk about old movies, playing on his phone, admiring the assets of other men. Meanwhile, President Musk can get down to the business of running the country. We at the Lincoln Project are confident that Donald Trump understands his position. Elon is smarter, wealthier, more charismatic, has a far superior and more successful social media platform and company, is more successful with women, and a better dancer.
When you think you're above everyone else, it's easy to forget that your image can be ripped to shreds by a simple ad. Musk, who has long built himself up as the cool billionaire, suddenly became the subject of ridicule and memes. And let's be real here, no billionaire ever looks cool when they're trending for all the wrong reasons. It's that the way he reacted made him look like the guy who's never been told no in his life and is now panicking because someone finally had the guts to say it. And that, my friends, is the true hilarity of it all. You've got this self-proclaimed genius who's been melting down for days over a parody. The Lincoln Project doesn't need to release another ad. They've already won. But hey, maybe next time Musk will take it in stride. Maybe he'll learn that being a good sport means taking a joke, but let's be real. He'll probably just spend another few weeks on Twitter ranting and raving about how the world doesn't understand him, all while we sit here, popcorn in hand, enjoying the show. Because the best part about Musk's latest meltdown, it's that we all saw it coming, and we'll be here when he inevitably tries to spin it into another self-promotion campaign. Elon, never changes,